Hey there guys, I wanted to talk to you about the latest kind of advertising campaign that I've been running on Facebook and some of the testing that we've been doing in order to make sure that my advertising costs are profitable. I wrote about this a couple of weeks ago with some of the maths, and I basically wanted to do a video of the exact same with the exact same numbers, just to make sure that people kind of really understood the process and the concept that we're going through. So let me get so we use a pretty simple 3-page formula, right? And this is it here. On the left-hand side, under the big little Facebook symbol, I've got Russell Brunson, Ryan Dice, Frank Kern, and Jeff Walker. Those are 4 interests that we are testing for this particular squeeze page. And the idea is obviously I buy traffic and I buy clicks through to this little opt-in page here. Now that opt-in page is designed to, I think it gives away some training, a couple of cheat sheets. It's quite a simple opt-in. We're kind of half testing the interest to opt-in ratio and the interest to topic ratio, which means that if I say to someone, hey, I'm going to teach you how to build a WordPress marketing funnel, I want to see how interesting that topic is compared to those interests, but also the actual content itself is, I think I just say it's some free training. And the idea is obviously that's passed on to our email list to anyone who opts in. They themselves are actually redirected to a thank you page, and that thank you page has a $19 little upsell. Technically it's not an upsell, I suppose it's a tripwire or a splinter product. It's just a small $19 product. It's our $100,000 email series. Anyone who doesn't buy that, that's absolutely fine. We will then send them a delivery email to the delivery page, and again we attempt to sell them up to the $100,000 email series. And anyone who doesn't buy from that is continued to be sold to about 3 or 4 different sales messages throughout the process. So there's a number of ways we can generate this $19. And the reason we've done this is because I want to generate leads and customers at profit, or at least at break even. So what do I mean by that? What we do is we start off by looking at what I'm willing to pay per customer. So this is essentially how you can get Facebook advertising for free, or any kind of advertising completely for free. What people typically do is they'll spend, $1,000 on Facebook advertising, and they'll maybe get 100 leads from that or something, or 200 leads, or 5,000 leads, or whatever it is. But it's very actually difficult to understand whether someone is, whether that has generated any ROI. What I like to do is attempt to sell a low-cost product like a tripwire or a splinter product to people who have recently opted in, and basically pay for the cost of acquisition. So if I work backwards, what I look at is it's a $19 product, but in order to keep all the maths simple, I put it as £14 because everything's done in GBP and this in British pound sterling. And I know that per splinter product or per tripwire, I'd be willing to pay £14 per customer. That's because I know that that is a pretty low-cost product. It's very scalable, doesn't require any delivery from me, and it means that I happen to know that roughly 1 in 10 people who buy this particular splinter product are likely to buy our coaching or a larger course from us, okay? Which means that that's profitable. However, what a lot of people try and do is after they generate a lead or a sale, after they generate a lead or an opt-in, they'll try to generate a sale from their flagship or core product straight away. And that's got such a low conversion rate that even if you make a sale, you are in the red. Let's say you spend $1,000 on advertising and you generate $600 worth of revenue. It's not, you haven't made $600, you actually lost $400. So instead, what I try to do is make sure that any time I position a core offer or a flagship product in front of someone, that they've already been paid for, they're already at cost. And this is how we do that. We take our $14 product, and like I said, we've got thank you pages, got email sales pages, we've got a bunch of different ways, and I happen to know that our conversion rate is roughly 16%. Okay, that means that for every 100 people who are opt-ins or leads, 16 of them will buy. Okay, and I'll show you some of the maths of this later in some of the spreadsheets that we've got, which means that one sale requires roughly 6.25 leads, okay, 6.25 leads or opt-ins, which means that I know that I'm willing to spend £14 per sale So that means at a 16% conversion rate, it means I'm willing to spend £14 for every 6.25 leads. Now again, the numbers are a bit weird. Obviously, there's no such thing as 0.25 of a person, a quarter of a person. But just for this sake, it means that I'm able to start working out what I want to pay per lead. So for 6.25 leads, for roughly 6 leads, I'm willing to pay £14, which means that I'm willing to pay roughly £2.24, so £2.24 per lead. Okay, I know that if I acquire leads at £2.24, that is likely to break even, because it means that for every 6.25 leads I get at £2.24, that's a total of £14. And I know that I'll probably make a sale from that, meaning that it equates evenly. So if I've spent £2.24 per lead, and out of 6 or 7 of them, 1 of them buys, that means I've actually acquired all of those leads for free, and I've acquired that customer for free, which means the next time I position a product in front of them, it is more profit, that the profit margin is higher. So when it comes to the opt-in page, I know that I'm willing to pay £2.24 per opt-in. Okay, and I happen to know that this particular squeeze page has about an 11% conversion rate. Okay, now some of these numbers are a bit off because we're testing this on a very specific and small advert set, but I just wanted to show you some of the maths and how we're doing this. So an 11% opt-in rate, that means for every 100 people visiting that page, that's 11 people opting in. Okay, which remember means that I only need 6 or 7 leads in order to make a sale. So from 100 people visiting, that's roughly 11 people signing up. So that's between 1 or 2 sales, okay? That also means that for 1 opt-in, that means I need roughly 9 clicks. I need 9 clicks for 1 opt-in. At 11%, it means that I need to have 9 clicks for every 1 opt-in. If I was willing to pay £2.24 for 1 opt-in, okay, remember, £2.24 for 1 opt-in, that means that I'm going to be paying roughly 0.24 per click. It means that I can divide 2.24 by 9, and that gives me 0.24, so 24 pence per click. Okay, so if I have 6.25 opt-ins, gives me £14. That means I'm probably willing to spend, £14. It means I am willing to spend £14 for those clicks as well, and the maths works out roughly to be 0.24 per click as well. So I'm going to show you this. This here is kind of the Excel spreadsheet of what we've got. It's the same one in the blog post. I'm just going over this. Now again, I know that the data is very, very low on this, but this is how often we're checking it to make sure that we're keeping on top of it. So we've got our 4 adverts here. These are the different interests that we target, and I can see here that with the pixels how many opt-ins we have. For example, Russell Brunson has a very high opt-in rate. It's 13 so far opt-ins. Jeff Walker's got 6 opt-ins, Ryan Dice has got 1, and Frank Kern's got 5. Now I can also look at the total amount spent so far, and I can see here that so far we've spent more on Russell Brunson, which makes sense because there's 13 there, which means that it's obviously more reach. However, I can also see that the opt-in rate is lower, so on average it's about 11%. And I can start looking at these opt-in rates. Now, cost per click is not something I'm actually that worried about at the moment. I'm more concerned about my cost per opt-in. Remember, I'm looking for a cost per opt-in of £2.24. So I'll even make sure I've got this just here so we can have that on the page. Here we go. So I want to £2.24 cost per lead or cost per opt-in, and on average it's about £2.05, but for Russell Brunson's interest it's about £2.84. Now in truth that's actually not too bad. I probably would be willing to kind of make that, but for the sake of this exercise I'll turn that off, because I think, well, it means that for every sale I make, I'm actually potentially, for every opt-in I make, I'm potentially losing money because I happen to know that the conversion rate is 16%. Now, there's a lot of kind of ifs and ands and variations that we could take in. For example, it could be that Russell Brunson, people who opt in under the interest of Russell Brunson, convert at a higher percentage. If they converted at 20 to 22%, they would actually be like still working out on average, like the cost per sale is actually working out on average pretty well. You can see here that there's also way less traffic for some of these. For example, Ryan Dice has only had 2 clicks so far, but it's had 1 opt-in, so that's an opt-in rate of 50%, you know. Jeff Walker's had 16 link clicks and 6 opt-ins, which is a 38% opt-in rate. Now, again, the numbers are too low at the moment to be able to make any definitive changes at the moment, but I might start turning things on and off and just experimenting with seeing where it is that people are spending money and what it is that people are spending money on. Frank Kern is probably slightly more accurate, 45 link clicks, 5 people clicking through. It's about 11% opt-in rate, which gives me a cost per opt-in of $1.99. And then if I come through to down here in total, my conversion rates across my products, the tripwire cost is about £14. It's $19, £14. I'll move this out of the way. And I know that we've made 4 sales, for example, just roughly 16%. Again, I know these numbers are very, very low because we're just testing this, but I wanted to show this in real time. 4 tripwire purchases at £14 means that we've made a total amount of sales of £57. And if you look at how much we've spent, it's £51. We've actually made an entire profit so far of £6.13, which means our profit per lead is actually £1.53, which means the next time I make a sale towards any of these customers, they're already going to be in profit. I'm not going to be paying for the cost of acquisition. We'll come back to this probably in about a month's time when some of the numbers have gone up, so we can experiment a little bit more and check out some more of the maths. But yeah, basically this is how we're looking to scale up our Facebook advertising and scale up a lot of the cost per leads and cost per acquisition so that we don't pay for our customers, but our customers end up paying for themselves. Cheers, guys.